We're live.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Gigi. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so elated. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you, and so do you.
Thank you. Let me be a good host and turn all my ringers off. My fault. There we go. So we'll just wait for maybe one person to pop in. But either way, it's still on a replay. So everyone, this is Ursula. Thank you for joining us on Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together.
Yes.
So today we have a special person for our midday afternoon delight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, this is Glennis Gomez, but everyone who loves her knows her as Gigi.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we have one person on here. I can't see who it is, but put your name in the comments. But today we're going to have your favorite Dominican and your favorite Panamanian. So today's conversation will be about alignment. And we're not talking about alignment with your cars,
Right?
right?
We're talking about, yeah.
Exactly. So I invited Gigi. Gigi has the first of all, let me let everybody know how I know Gigi. I met Gigi through a friend of a friend, through a friend of a friend of a friend. And she goes, we have a mutual gym uh place where we go to. And I'm a racquetball player and a spin person, but Gigi is the Zumba queen. Wepa! So anyway, she came to one of my parties because it was her birthday. I believe your birthday is what, July 27th?
You got it. Yes, you got it.
That's
You got it. You got it. You got
yeah.
it, sis. You got it.
Wow. So that's how we met. And her crew, they call themselves the Woo Crew, but I call them the Mosh Pit because anybody who's been to my parties, that core group of girls that were always in the center. And yeah, that's Gigi and her Woo Crew and Pam and all of them.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, anyways, Gigi has this 30-day emotional wellness challenge that's in a private Facebook group, but she's blowing up. So it's good that you all get acquainted with her now because the sister speaks to me, some really soulful, heartfelt words. And we had a conversation yesterday. And as you all know, I usually go live on Thursdays. But I was so moved by her live. She had one about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then yesterday. And I said, Gigi, I want you on. I don't want to wait because I'm booked all the way until November. But when she's talking, I just could not wait until November. So, with that being said, I talked enough. So, Gigi, if you can just briefly tell us, just give us a little bit of your background, like where were you born and just to where you are right now. And then we'll go on with the misalignment into the alignment.
Sure, sure. Um, as you know, as you said, my name is Glennis. So I am a Dominican born. My parents are both Dominican, but I was born in New York. I was raised in Boston. Yes.
You know I'm from 413, right?
Yes, baby. Yes.
I'm from Massachusetts too, girl.
Yes, baby. You see how we meet. So I grew up really rough. Dorchester was really rough. I grew up around everybody. So every culture, like we got people from everywhere. So I was able to grow up with a lot of diversity. I never saw myself as a Hispanic. I saw myself as a Black woman since I can remember. Like my friends, everybody saw me as a Black woman. I didn't really realize the whole race thing until I kind of encountered it in Boston. But it is what it is. We all have to experience it sometime.
Yeah.
Um, After I left Boston, my mom moved us to Kissimmee. Went to school there. Then I ended up in Fort Lauderdale on my own. Met my ex-husband, got married, 4 kids, raised 6, his and my brother. I left him because he was not healthy for me. Just
Mm-hmm.
really not healthy. And I've been a single mom for almost 14 years now, I think.
Wow.
Um, I suffer from chronic pain, which most people don't know and can't tell, because of my past. So
We're gonna
most of
touch
the
on that
things,
too.
yeah, most of the things that we see that affect us now, unfortunately, they have a lot to do with our past. So we have to go back in there to make sure we clear out all of the gut and the unk and the shit.
Hmm. Exactly. Clean all that shit out
Yes,
and get your shift together.
exactly. Yes, yes,
So, at what point, and I do understand, I can relate with the clogged gutter system, so to speak.
yes,
And I'm not talking about the home, right?
yep.
So, I believe if you don't clean out the gutter system, it just piles on top of each other until right there's a blockage, and then boom, you're right. So, if you can tell me when you were in Kissimmee or even in Boston, Dorchester, even up to Atlanta, what were some of the situations where your engine was becoming clogged and misaligned?
It started pretty much from maybe 7 years old. So in Dorchester, I was raped by a cousin,
Mm,
molested by 2 other family members.
mm,
Um, so that's sexual. My mom mentally abused me and physically abused me.
right.
It was by the time I was 10, a lot had been done to me.
Wow.
So I did not know that all those things were affecting me because it happened at such a young age and no one spoke to me about it. I was
Mm,
supposed to, my mom was one of those old school island moms that you don't speak about anything.
right.
Whatever's at home, you stay at home. And if it's over and done with, it's over and done with. Leave it in the past is the past. So there's no speaking about what you feel or how you're doing or any of that. I never got that. I've never been asked, growing up, how are you? How do you feel? Are you happy? I don't know what that is. So
Mm,
for me, it was like a snowball effect. Um, each trauma kept compiling and kept building. And as I grew, of course, then I started looking at men for love, of
mm-hmm.
course. But I was so empty, I didn't know what real love was. So I was getting whatever attention I was getting, it was sufficient enough.
And you know what? If you don't mind, it's
Go
funny
ahead.
you said that about with men because if, in my opinion, if your emotional tank is empty, so to speak, when you have an external factor coming in to fill it up for you, they may or may not have your best interest, my
No,
best, or anyone, and
usually not.
usually
Usually
not
not.
because they're predators and they
Right.
can look fine as hell.
Yes.
I've had some. And
Yes.
they can be family members. You're right. And just to let everybody know, my apologies. I should have put a banner on that. The subjects that we're talking about can be trigger ring for
Yes.
you. So may want the kids to leave the room, or just take note going forward that these are triggering topics that we're talking about today. But as uncomfortable as it sounds, it's also necessary, because if we could stop that cycle of sweeping everything under the rug, that dust ball is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger.
Right. So we're here now to clean out from under the rug.
Yeah.
So we can live abundant lives in a line. So
yes.
My apologies for
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
So you said, so men were filling up your tank with gunk.
Yes. And I was allowing it because I had no self-esteem, no self-worth, no love for myself, because when the people that you look up to are supposed to nourish you, take care of you, and they don't, and they give you the opposite of that, that's what you know. So it's hard to, and then, when people that were good to me, I didn't know how to treat them. Like, I really didn't know how to treat a good man. I had no clue, because it was foreign to me. It was like, this isn't normal. What is this? Like, what do you, no, let me go back to the guy who's kicking my ass or who's treating me like shit, let me go back to him.
Because trauma can be comfortable. It's like an old ratty blanket, and you're cold and you need a new blanket, but because you're so comfortable and you broke in that blanket, we just shroud ourselves in it. I get it, girl.
Our habits. It's a habit. We don't realize that we create habits with people. People are habits to us too. That, having someone, how do you feel comfortable with somebody mistreating you? That's when you know something's wrong. That's when you know something's wrong. When you can do that, and because I look back and I'm like, wow, I really did that. That was really me. But I was not the same person. I was definitely not the same person. And it took a lot of people to hurt me for me to finally realize that I was allowing people to hurt me because I thought I deserved it.
Right. Because
I thought I deserved it. So,
you started out at 7 years old, as with most of us. And when we're born, we have a blank slate. And 7 years on this earth is not long. So when you have someone who's just as damaged and toxic, and they're creating your moral fiber, you don't know. We don't know.
No.
It's sad.
It's sad for the kids that are going through it now. It's not sad for me at this point, because it made me who I am, and I'm able to talk about it. I am no longer hurt from it. So I don't, I wear them scars real clear, no problem with it. No issue with it anymore, because I am grateful for the experiences now. Right. I'm able to help somebody else who's experiencing those things. I wouldn't be able to help anybody in those areas if I didn't have that experience.
Absolutely. So, we have Sierra Grisby. I apologize. I am paying attention, but I'm looking at my phone to get the comments because I cannot pull it up on my laptop.
Okay.
So look, Derek, I know you're on here too. Text me something. Type it in the notes. But Sierra Grisby says, good afternoon. And
Hi,
Sierra is one of the ambassadors for Black Girls Run here in Atlanta.
All right, cool. Nice to meet you, Sierra.
Yeah, and Derek Jones. Ooh,
hey, Derek.
You need to listen to his. I'm going to send you a link. He's with he's the host over Relationship Gumbo, and he has some bomb ass content for real that you would get. It's pretty deep.
Okay.
And entertaining. But anyways, with that being said, what was your breaking point when you knew your car, so to speak, was so misaligned that you needed to get a new car, a new engine?
It started when I went to jail.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
It started when I went to jail.
What?
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend got the girl that he was cheating on. I believe that's what happened. Some kind of craziness. All I know is I got the cops called on me, and I went into jail, and I couldn't believe it. At my age, I was like in my 40s. I think I was like 40. Let's see. So that was 2015.
What?
So it was 5 years ago. So I was 41.
You should
And
have called me. We only live 15 minutes from each other. I would have rolled out with you. No, I'm joking.
Nah, girl, trust me. It was meant to happen because I was out of control.
Right.
My life was out of control. Everything was just out of control. And I had to wake up. And that was a big wake up call, even though it wasn't for anything major. Just the fact that I went, no, I'm saying for me. For me, the fact that I went to jail, period, at my age was just like a fucking wake up call. Like, what am I doing? And I was able to finally face myself with no distractions in the world. Nobody asking me to take care of them, nobody to feed. I didn't have all of my normal responsibilities. I didn't have the world. I had to deal with myself. I had no choice but to deal with my past.
So you were quarantined before COVID even started.
I was, and those 70 days were like
70
days. Yes, 70 days. So I was, it was the best 70 days of my life, though.
Wow.
It really was, because I was finally able to look at me and look at what I was doing to myself.
Right.
What I was allowing people to do. I was giving the people that hurt me so much more power than they deserved. And that was the biggest thing that I had to recognize. I had to recognize that I had to forgive myself, number one. Forgive them, even if they don't deserve it. And I had to deal with it before I could let it go. Because everybody's so quick to say, oh, yeah, it happened in the past, just let it go.
No. Nope.
That is so deep within us, because we only remember the things that we have emotions that are attached to. So there was no way for me to forget that, because the emotion that I felt that was attached to it, I couldn't forget it.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you if you can explain that some more. But.
Yeah, I couldn't forget that emotion, because if I thought about it, I felt it.
That trigger.
Yes, I felt it. Like, and it took me exactly back to those times and made me feel that. So I felt it. It wasn't like it was just a memory. No, I felt it. And I've come to, everything I do, I see that my memory, of course, it's here and there. But what I remember the most, unfortunately, are the things that had a very big impact, good or bad, either way.
Right.
But I had an emotional connection to. I don't really remember things that I had no emotional connection to.
See, it's funny you said that, because when people tell you just ignore it, just how he is. But I think we get so conditioned to, like, you know what, you're right, that won't make me a good Christian, or
No.
You cannot ignore what your body is telling you. Those are physical, visceral reactions.
Yes.
And people will just ignore it and pile it up. And before you know it, you're in your 40s and 50s, like you just said, and you have these chronic, not you per se, but in general.
I do.
Chronic, including you, have chronic physical
pain.
And pain. Yeah. And they'll spend all this money trying to physically take care of it, but when you got to go back right here
in those places, like,
it's real. There's a note I have here. It said suppressed emotional triggers turns into survival strategies that turn into unconscious programming and behaviors.
It does. I was in a marriage for 14 years because of that. A miserable marriage, not just a marriage. I was in a miserable marriage with a man that I eventually became physically ill because of him.
Yeah.
I have never been in the hospital ever again since I left him. While I was with him, I was in the hospital more than 20 times.
What? Really?
Minimum twice a year, I was in the hospital. For no reason. They never knew what was wrong with me. Stress. People don't realize stress is such a disease. That's an actual disease. That's not just that's an actual disease. Like, you can affect everything with stress. Your
Can I tell you
mental.
something?
Yeah.
I'll share this. Only a few people know this that's on now, but I had experienced so much stress as a child, didn't know it. And I remember I ended up in the hospital. And I just found out about 10 years ago. My mom told me there was nothing wrong with me. The doctors didn't know what was wrong.
Yeah. It's possible because we manifest the things that are going on in our brains and our minds into our bodies. It resonates in our body, the cells, the water, it's just the atoms, everything inside of us start to react to all of those different emotions, those different thoughts. So, it's a snowball effect that we usually go through. You keep going, you keep doing, it's a cycle. Generational curses, our oppression.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on that.
But it's a part of our mental health. The last 400 years of our ancestors' lives have affected us because our DNA has changed based on slavery. So
yes.
when you understand that, and we're prone as people of African descent, we are prone to have depression, anxiety, all of those things, and stress, all of those things we're affected based on, unfortunately, our history, our ancestors' history and what happened to them. It was passed down to us, it's in our DNA.
Girl, yes. Let me tell perfect example. Trump being and I don't want to spend this whole conversation talking about him. However, he's in the hospital because he's sick or whatever the case is. He's a bigot, the toxic things that come out of his mouth. And then people still want to just pray for. He's an oppressor. He's toxic. People reacting to him is no different than you or I or other people that's how your uncle is. That's how your cousin. That's how your father. Just ignore it. No.
We're
not wishing death, but we're not wishing unicorns, rainbows, and kittens. I'm not doing that. So let's take it to on your 71st day and you're out of jail. Then what?
Then I didn't know what. Fair. I didn't know what to do. So I still had a couple of things I was doing the same, couple here and there. It didn't resonate enough.
Right.
Like I was getting it, but I wasn't completely there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you heard, I got close with a best friend of mine, and he and I got really close, and we were connected, oddly enough. It was so weird because we were connected through death. Ooh. It was like,
may I ask who died?
So his sister, my twin flame's name is Juan. His sister, her brother and her mother got killed in front of her. So it kind of brought us closer together. We were talking about death, and then, we just kept going, and then we just kept getting closer, and we were more spiritually connected than we were anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could think about him and he would call me. I could talk about him and he would text me.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. I would eventually at some point hear from him very close to when I thought about him. So he and I got very close. And then in December, he was on his way to my house and he was in an accident. And 8 days later, he got taken off of life support. So that was my real, that was actually what completely changed everything for me, like everything.
Oh my God.
So when that happened, it was because he was the one person that would be very positive. He was very positive. If I thought anything negative, he would change it. He'd be like, no, that's not going to happen. This is what's going to happen. You've seen my Zen garden. He's the one that told me that I could do this. He was like, you can do that. And I was like, I can't do that. He was like, if you can't do it, of course you can't do it if you say you can't. And I was like, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so let me do it. And I did it.
So that was his purpose on earth.
Yes, his purpose on earth was definitely to wake me up. Like he woke me up. He really woke me up because I was extremely depressed when he passed. And I blamed myself because he was coming to my house. So I blamed myself for a good year, at least a year or so. And it was just a lot of, I had to internalize. I had to dig deep in because I didn't want to live anymore. I was tired of feeling pain. I was feeling pain from so many different ways and just so exhausted from my childhood to my body, to my life. It was just, and then him being taken, and he was 31, it was like, yeah, he was 31. And I blamed everything, blamed the world and whys and, all of that stuff.
Wait a minute. Excuse me.
What?
He's 31. Am I talking to a cougar or a puma?
You know me, girl. Come on now. You know I'm a lioness, girl. Come on now. Come on now. Lion.
Yeah.
There's that lion in me.
Okay.
Yes.
You're talking. I'm like, wait a minute.
Those ages don't add up.
Oh, it adds up. It is.
Trust me.
Add it up, right?
Because I've talked to older men, and it's not about the age. It's about the soul. Because a person's soul has a different age than what their body has.
Absolutely.
So his soul was way older than what his actual physical being was. And that's what attracted me to him. Even though we were friends for about 5 years. But once I started seeing who his actual, his real soul was, I couldn't even help it. I couldn't even help it. It was magnetic. It was magnetic. So, losing myself through his death, I knew I had 3 choices, and
which were
live abundantly, successfully, die, or go insane. And I wasn't doing the latter 2.
So what made you want to choose the first? What made you want to choose a life of abundance? Because you didn't have to.
No, I didn't. First, I had 4 kids. So even if I didn't think of myself, I had to think of them. I couldn't do that to them.
Right.
So, and I've never been a quitter. Like I've always been strong. I've always been the matriarch of my family. Like I've always been the glue to everybody. Everybody has always looked up to me. Everybody has always come to my house. It doesn't matter. If you're in trouble, you come to my house. You hungry, you come to my house. It didn't matter what you needed, you came to me. Like everybody came to me. Younger, older, it didn't matter what their age group was. Everyone came to me.
That's that energy level right there. Let me read a couple of comments.
Yeah.
I felt my phone buzzing. Oh, Sierra, she says she is here for this conversation.
Thank you, Sierra.
Sierra
That's
is
my baby's name.
really.
Yes.
Sierra is she's beautiful and like right here.
Yes. That's the best way.
We connected from the first day we met. I love
And
her.
and so did we. And that's kindred spirits.
We
When you have that kindred,
did.
yes, from that first moment I met you, I was like, oh yes, that's her. I was like, that's her. I felt it.
Oh, I love it. So as of today, October 5th, 2020, at 12:33 p.m., where are you at right now? And I'm talking about emotionally and spiritually.
I am in complete balance.
You're aligned?
Yes,
How
I
did
am.
you
I can.
get aligned?
That was a skill that takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. I started working piece at a time. Mine's I the only thing I could do, because my mental was so fucked up and my
Right.
emotional was, I had to figure out which one could I work on until I got there. So I did the physical thing. So I went to the gym and turned into a gym junkie. I mean, it was the adrenaline that I was getting from the gym and the endorphins. Like, I was releasing so many chemicals into my brain that I was feeling.
Yes.
It's the best pain reliever in life. Like, we have more drugs in our own body that we don't need outside drugs. When you're happy, when you're at balance, when you're at peace, your brain releases different types of chemicals to make you feel those
Yes.
things. So when I was working out, I would get into what they call runner's high.
Isn't that Sierra? I know you're still on. I hope you are. Type in the comments. How does your runner's high feel? It's no joke.
Excellent.
It
It's
really is.
so, and of course I found Zumba, and Zumba was like really where I was able to shine, basically, and let out whatever I was feeling.
Mhm.
I did yoga. I found yoga. I found meditation. The
Yes.
right people in my life, because I got rid of all of the negative people.
Yes.
Practices, frequencies, listening to things that actually resonate the right way in my body, talking to the right people, not having bullshit conversations. Because as soon as I hear somebody start talking about somebody, I'm out. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear you talking bad about somebody, because
Right.
that's not what I'm about. So if you're not saying something, speaking some type of positivity, some kind of growth into somebody, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it.
People, they can be energy vampires.
Yes, there's too many of those, and I cut those short. I cut those out. I got rid of all those people.
And they talk about to themselves mean too.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
Of course.
yeah. But
Some people need help. Some people want help, but I don't believe in helping people who don't want it.
It's not gonna work.
No, I'm not gonna drive myself crazy trying to fix you, and you don't even want to fix you. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not insane, so.
Right. So okay, so you work on the physical, the emotion, or the spiritual.
While I did yoga, and I did meditation, so that helped me on my spiritual side, because I did Reiki healing also. I had a few different instructors do different things with me. So what I did is I was seeking, because I knew there was something deep wrong with me.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong with me, but I knew I was better than what I was at that moment. I knew I was meant to be better, because my soul has always told me that. Like,
you're right. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
babe. I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
You're okay. No, it's like, when you feel that so strongly. I don't know about you, but I have visions. I have visions, and I don't know what they call it, deja vu.
Yeah, it's
I
real.
have I have that all the time, and I've had it since I was a child. So I've envisioned, I've seen Africa without being to ever going to Africa.
Wow.
I knew I was meant to write a book for little girls. It's just so many things that I saw, but because I was so insecure with myself, I didn't think I was good enough to do those things. Now I know I am, and now I know that's my purpose to do, is
Mhm.
to do those things and to accomplish them. But I would have never known had I not lost him.
Wow.
I may have not gotten there. It may have taken me longer. I may have gotten there, but it may have taken me longer. But his death pushed me to figure out what I was doing. And
It was
life
a
is too
catalyst.
short.
Life is
Life
too
is too
short.
short. And you
Yeah.
know how we all think, oh, I'll do that when I this, I'll do that when I, after I get my house, I'll do that after I get my car. No, you might
Woulda,
not even get to that point.
exactly. Woulda, could, I need to, I'm going to,
I
I need
should.
to, I should. Those are
Excuses.
excuses and killer
Excuses.
words. Because if
Yes.
you're right and guilty, so I'm not coming from a place of judgment.
And
And I'm
we all done it. We've all done it. Like we've all done that.
we have. But going back to what you said about that you could do better, I can relate to that because I believe when you become in tuned spiritual or you become enlightened, that
Mhm.
more doors open.
They
So
do.
don't get me wrong, I was good, but why not be great?
Yes.
Because good, to me, good is still
Mediocre.
mediocre. Yeah, it's right here. And I do believe that we all are God's chosen people. So
Yes.
why not live an elevated life? You
Yes.
know, he can come through us. I mean, in my mind, he's my divine. So, everybody has their,
Mhm.
so I'm just speaking from mine. He created the ocean. So that is so vast and great. Why would he just stop with the ocean and not continue with us, with humans? So I did have a good close knit of friends, but as I became more spiritually in tune, that shit started coming. So now
Yeah.
my accountability partners have shifted and they are phenomenal. So now I have some great accountability. Matter of fact, I need to talk to you offline about that too. Just say the word Nicole and I'll remember.
Nicole,
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah, put it in. And
I'm gonna
then
take.
also Elise, she's always been a good spiritual advisor to me. Even she used to teach at Snellville, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was a spin instructor at Snellville, and talk about in tune. We could go probably 9 months without talking. And if I think about her, she will call, and this is literally how our conversations will go. Sarah, okay, what's going on with you? And I just bust out crying because
Because
she
you
knew.
needed it. Because
Yeah,
you needed it, and she knew.
she knew. And then my so that's spiritual, my accountability, physical I already had because I'm always in
Yeah.
the gym. So I didn't really count that. And then then my girlfriend Rochelle, she introduced me to my Reiki master who I have now, and her name is
Okay.
Rachel. You see, so the doors, I could keep going
They start opening. The
on.
universe. The
Yes.
universe listens when you start speaking to it. The universe does listen.
And
And
just
when. Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say with the universe. A lot of us don't realize that we're our chemical compounds are the same as a star.
Hmm.
The same compounds that we have in our bodies are exactly the same as a star. And if you start looking at all of the things in nature, everything, our body parts, our organs, our ears, everything that we have, if you look at nature, they're all in nature. In a
Yeah.
plant, in a vegetable, in
Food,
a fruit,
like a beam, the
Yeah,
tree. Look at our
so
hair.
many things. It's so many things that we are exactly alike in this natural form. It's just a matter of raising your consciousness to understand, and that's a part of why I became a vegan also. That part, that humanitarian part, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel comfortable anymore eating an animal, because for me, I saw the harm that I was doing, because I wanted to minimize my footprint in this world. And I was seeing, wow, if I was born in India, I wouldn't eat I would eat a different animal. If I was born in a different part of the country, I would eat a different type of animal. So
Right.
every country, so what makes any animal special? They're all special, and we actually, the things that the animals eat, we're just eating them, but they're eating grass and they're eating greens. Why don't we cut out the middleman and go straight to the greens?
Okay, I hear you. Let me just read this comment. This is from Katrina Owens.
Hey, Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina's dope AF. Everything about her. I've always liked her, but she used to be we played kickball in the same league, but she said that she's gonna go and Google. She had to go and Google twin flame.
Okay. Yes.
And she says she's learning some new things.
Fantastic. Yes.
Katrina, I'm not gonna tell her business, but she's gone through a change as well, like here. And because we had a text conversation. So I saw her at a girlfriend's birthday party a year ago, and she just looked different. She's already a beautiful sister, but something about her was glowing.
That light comes out and it shines.
It was shining. And when she told me what the change that she made,
yep.
I'm like, well, damn, it makes sense. Because she was still beautiful, but you're right, it was just a light. And
it's a different type of beauty. It's an inner beauty.
Yeah.
And it comes out, because I've had people question me like, what did you do to yourself? What's different about you?
I'm telling you,
I don't wear makeup, so I don't know. I'm like,
And you know what? It's funny because as kids, there's a lot of childhood trauma that has gone on with a lot more people than we even know. And it just makes you wonder when you see these kids and they have this kind of this doomy cloud over them, and that somebody took their life.
Yes. That's what happens.
So
and that's part of our blockage. When our chakras are blocked, when one chakra is blocked or clogged, either way, it affects all of them if you don't unclog it or you don't align it. So that's why, for me, my pain ended up getting worse and worse as I got older, because I didn't take care of what was happening to me. It just kept building.
Exactly.
So, and when you said, then it eventually comes out, for me, the way it came out for me, it manifested in my own harm. Like, I was harming my life. Everything, everybody and everything around me, it was everything was ugly. Just everything.
Yeah. And it does get ugly. And I believe knowingly or unknowingly self-sabotage ourselves or situations and goes back into that victim mode that people who already were conditioned to as a child. And then it's like, oh, again. Well, some things you can't control, but I believe the part of healing comes if you know the root of where it, and even if you don't know the root, just know that there's something that misalignment. And if you need to talk to someone, whether it's a therapist, a counselor, a
friend,
partner who really is not there to be a yes person, but like to set you straight, So whoever is listening, this is if you look this up, it's called ACE. I think it's adult childhood experience or something. Just, but it goes back to when a child is abused, and there's different. Let me see who's on here, because I have many therapist friends. If you all can help me out with it, and I don't see any on here. Oh, Latronda's on here. Latronda's a therapist. Latronda, if you can type in the comments, because I can't see it, but it's a list of different childhood traumas, and they rate it. And not saying that one is better than the next, but you can rate it. And as adults, like you said, it manifests in different ways, but I think we fool ourselves so much. So for me, when I was younger, I had a bunch of, like, my stomach was always hurting, not from gas, just like I had a true stomach ache, which made me in the hospital. So now I moved from Massachusetts to go to college in Alabama. Then it transferred to here, and I used to have massive migraines to the point I couldn't even see. And I just attributed to, well, I'm not eating like I should. I'm not eating my meals, and I'm getting a hunger headache. No, that is stress that was unclogged. It was still clogged from back when I was a little kid. You know, you just once again sweeping it under the rug. And let me tell you, I took so much. I think they're called goody powders for the headaches. I took so much they had to check my kidneys.
Yeah, they affect
or whatever was just
your liver. I think it's your liver it affects.
Yeah. So that I went just to see, because I had so much built up in me. Anyway, so with that being said, because we're winding down now, but if people do not have a clue on how to become aligned, can you give about 4 or 5 briefly different things that they can do to get them on track, to at least get the jump start?
I would say the first thing is to start listening to yourself. Take time. I would say minimum 10 to 15 minutes a day. Morning, night, whenever is your best time. Your schedule's different, but try to remove all of the thoughts, the active thoughts that you have in your head, and think about what is truly your purpose. What is it truly that makes you happy? What do you want for yourself? Because we all talk about these material things, right? We all want a house, a car, a husband, kids. But what do you actually want for yourself? Inner peace is way more valuable than anything else. So to get it, it's a matter of working on each chakra. To me, I believe it's working on each chakra at the same time, simultaneously. Because if you're working on one and not working on the other, then you're still not balanced. But if you're doing them all together, eventually you will get there. It's a habit. We have to create new habits. We're used to these old ways and old thoughts, and the way we used to eat, the way we used to think. So let's create something new. The only way you create something new is by creating a new habit, and you have to constantly do it. Even if you have to force yourself to do it new, because you want to get out of what you used to do.
Yeah.
So for me, I wasn't very good physically, so that's why I did the physical.
Right.
I wasn't good emotionally, so I kind of left that to the end. Spiritually, I knew I wanted to grow spiritually. I sought out Reiki, chakra balancing. Those people know more than you do when it comes to those things. If you don't know about it, if you know about it, great. But if you don't know about it and you're trying to figure it out, I would suggest to talk to somebody who knows somebody in that realm, because spirituality is extremely important. And some of them can take away the actual physical pain.
You know what? It is real.
Man, it's real.
Look, I'm going to tell you, if anybody wants to experience it, contact me, and I'll put her name. Her name is, she's my Reiki master, Rachel.
Yes, I'm going to go to her.
Please.
I'm going to go to her.
fact, she practices out in Stone Mountain Village, but when she was living in Stone Mountain, and my first Reiki session with her, and she's on my Facebook page. She's my friend, and she was doing a Reiki healing. I don't even know what they call it. All I know is she worked from my head and she went all the way down and worked each chakra. When she got my left foot, like if this is my foot, and she just, I don't know, she just did this and swiped her hand. But when she got to the right foot and she swiped her hand real gently, it felt like lightning bolts were coming out of all. I can feel it now. It was out of my 4 toes. I don't know why not my pinky toe, but I felt it. And then I remember I said, this were my exact words. I said, "Oh shit, what was that on my foot?" And she was so full of energy. It just like it was nothing.
Yeah, because that's what she does. And those people really help.
They really
do. They really help. And each area of your life, it's just a focus. What is your focus? Mm-hmm. We all have to figure out what our focus, our purposes are, and work towards them. Muscles have memories. So if you want to gain muscle and you work out once a day, once a week, you're not going to gain any muscle.
No, you're not.
You're not going to gain any muscle. So if you want something, you have to consistently do it. It's consistency. Consistency is the biggest thing. Out of everything we do, consistency is the first thing. If we stay consistent to whatever it is, because you're consistently miserable, are you not? You're consistently sad. You're consistently mad, or whatever the negative feeling is. If you're consistently that, we need to now consistently be positive and consistently be. You have to change it. That's all. Consistency. That's my biggest thing. Consistency.
So
create new patterns.
Yes, create new patterns. Let me see if we have a comment on here, and then we're gonna close it out. Oh, Tanya is on here. She's a yoga instructor. Yoga.
Hi, Tanya.
Her online studio has opened. So if you can give us some positive closing words, I'll let you have the floor and then I'll end it all. But
all right.
I guess.
Thank you. My biggest, I would say, advice is to love yourself so much that no matter who comes into your life, they're going to see how much you love you, and you won't allow anybody to love you any differently than what you love yourself.
Yeah.
Stay true to you. Don't try to make anybody else happy. Make yourself happy first. Make yourself whole. Make yourself work on you. You deserve it. You deserve it so much. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have a full life.
Yes.
You deserve everything great in the world. We're not meant to be here to be miserable. We're just not. Positivity, just get rid of all of the people and things and places, sounds, all of those things that are negative, and introduce the positive. And eventually, with time, they do get better. They honestly do get better. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening.
I love it. GiGi, we're not done. I'm going to put you on the spot and extend another invitation so we can have another afternoon midday delight.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love you. So I'm so ready. Yes.
Because you know what? I have a lot of Facebook friends that are logged on and they're on the clock. I'm not going to call anybody out this time. But
don't throw them under the bus.
I do it for other things. I won't do it for this, but I do appreciate them for logging on. So I'm going to put your information in the show notes. I am going to convert this into an audio podcast.
Okay.
And, everyone, just make sure that I'll end on this note that we need to treat our bodies like the car we drive in. And if you look at each wheel as a factor in your life, whether if it's physical, spiritual, emotional, whatever it is, and if one is off, one tire is off, you're still going to be able to drive around. Thank you. Do it again. Yeah, it's going to be wobbly, it's going to be unstable, but go get that alignment check. It's okay. It is okay. And do some of the tips that Gigi has said, and go on my pages and my Instagram, Black Girls Getting Their Shit Together. Go on ABC Wellness with 3 S's and get other tips to see what you can do. But remember, God made us to be, He created us to be great. We don't want to live good. Good is just so mediocre. Excel, move forward, propel your way of thinking. And other than that, I'm going to say from everyone's favorite Panamanian and everyone's favorite Dominican, thank you so much for coming on, Gigi. I want you to come back soon.
I definitely will. And what did you say? Wait, the saying that you said, what do healed people heal?
Yes. You know what? I'm going to say it and then we're going to end it. The live, because that's a good one. I learned from Gigi yesterday on her live. She said to become, when you're around people, if you heard that cliche saying that hurt people. But then when you have twin flames or sisterhood come together and healing, then healed people heal people. I love you, babe. Stay online.
Love you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day. And make sure and tune back on this Thursday at 8 p.m. because we're going to talk about sex this time.
Ooh, okay.
Sex is part of self-care also. I'm going to have a sex therapist. Oh, sex is good now.
That's a part of your chakras. Sexuality is in there.
Girl, you see these orange color walls, right?
Boop, boop.
All right. I'll see everybody Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gigi, you stay on, baby.
All right.